All right. We're done with ad drop. So some of you are new, weren't here last week. That's good. That's why I did last week, kind of the way I did, and before we really got into things, other than covering ad drop and attendance that we already went over. So my name is Dr. Payne, which sounds awesome, right? It's pretty cool. Okay. This is one of my favorite quotes because it applies here. All right. Listen to understand, not just to respond. Think before you react. Okay. Could you do that last year when they were asking you campos? You gonna let your fish do that? Nah, hell no, right? Okay, Rhett says no, okay? This is not that situation, okay? If I ask you a question, yes, I want you to answer, but if you need to, take a minute, think about it, okay? And what you'll find, normally, if I ask a question, I'll just stand here and wait until somebody says something anyway. I got time, okay? So please participate, right? You guys did a pretty good job last week. But listen, understand, not just respond. That's actually really hard to do. Okay, we're kind of taught just, react, right? Give an answer. Okay. But think about it a minute, okay? All right. So, who am I? I didn't really tell you last week, okay? Because several of you were doing ad drop and all that good stuff. I am a championship-winning barbecue pitmaster. Only won one competition, but that's okay, all right? And it was actually just a College Station ISD fundraiser, right? But we won. It was awesome, okay? Those are pork belly burnt ends on the end, right? The key, a little heat. There's red pepper flakes in there, along with a lot of butter and a lot of sugar, right? We did this before lunch. It's really bad. Brisket, Boston butt. I also like to brew beer when I have time. Like to do woodwork, play a little bit of guitar, right? All that good stuff, okay? All that stuff lends itself well to athletics. I like sports too. I am raising world champions. Daddy wants a gold medal and then to retire early. Okay. My oldest, actually on the left there, she won her age and division in gymnastics for the entire South State of Texas this past fall. Yeah, they're good little athletes. Okay. All right, why am I qualified to instruct this course? If you've never had a professor or instructor tell you who they are, what their credentials are, you should probably question who the hell they are. How many of you just go to class and somebody shows up at the front, starts talking? You're like, well, I guess they're in charge. Do you know anything about them? Better find out, okay? I got my undergrad degree at Oregon State University. It's this whole other country in the northwest part of this country, okay? We have the best baseball team in the country. Not sure, are you? 3 national championships. Last one in 2018, we beat Arkansas. How many does A&M have? Hurts, right? We're not very good at football. Okay, we're working on it. Right? I got my master's at University of Florida while I was working there, and I did get my PhD here at A&M. So now I have a ring, because otherwise you guys would look at me like I was a crazy person, right? Finished my PhD in 2018. I started teaching in here before that, but since then I teach full-time. I teach full-time at Sam Houston, and I teach part-time here, okay? I teach 9 classes this semester, which is way too many, right? But I absolutely love what I do. It took me a long time to get here. It's a privilege and an honor to get to teach you guys, and I take it very seriously, okay? Before that, I worked for Extension here at A&M. Does anybody, you know what that is? Extension Service? No. Animal Science.
Teaks.
Oh. Huh? Teaks. Any engineers? Okay, if you've heard of Teaks, that comes from the ag side of Extension. Texas A&M is a land grant, okay? Every state has a land grant, has at least one, okay? That means every land grant is responsible for doing 3 things. Teaching, which you're doing, right? Research, and extension. Extension takes research and teaching and gets it out to the community. So it used to be rooted in agriculture because we were an agrarian society, right? So we're trying to help people grow more food. That's where extension comes from, and engineering now has a similar program. Okay. What brought me to A&M was fundraising. I did major gift fundraising here. I did it at several universities, okay, before we came down here, right? So, and even before that, I was in the private sector, okay? So all of those things help lend itself well to teaching this course, right? And teaching in SOMS. I'm actually here because a cadet who was from out of state, who I was kind of mentoring, right, was in ag when I was working over there. And, home cooked meal once in a while, just a guy to talk to. And he's like, man, you should teach these SOMS courses because we hate 25-year-old PhDs. And I was like, yeah, I should. And I met Dr. Keller, and he's like, yeah, you should, okay? So I'm here because a cadet recommended me do it, right? I also serve in the Air Force. I'm in the Texas Air National Guard. I do that part-time, right? We do counter-drug operations. Watching you, okay? All the time, right? Some of you aren't sure. All right, my teaching style. This is interactive. This is an interactive course. Saw that a little bit last week, right? I'm going to ask you guys questions. I want you to speak up. We're going to do discussion posts online. We'll talk about that, okay? Participate in the discussion. We'll make it way better. Who wants to sit in a lecture at 8 a.m.? Thank you. Thomas shaking his head. Good. All right. Any ag eco majors in here? No? Ag eco. Ag economics? It's all right. If I mumble, if you can't understand me, please let me know, right? My wife tells me I mumble all the time, and I tell her she's deaf. So, I was getting ready to present to a bunch of ag economist professors here, and one of them is like, no joke, super legit. He's written several textbooks. He also works on the Farm Bill in D.C. Like, he's a big deal, right? And right before I'm getting ready to present, he leans forward and whispers to me, "Try not to suck." Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Okay? So I try not to suck. Right? Come to class, we covered that, gotta be here, participate, think for yourself, right? We live on eCampus, okay? We're only here 50 minutes a week, less than an hour a week, right, to work on you, right? And it's not that you're broken, we just think we could probably make you a little better, right? Okay? So be sure to check eCampus often, all right? Be original, be outspoken in class, be thoughtful. I don't care if you disagree. I don't care if you disagree with me. I encourage it. All right? Let's work through it. If you don't understand or you don't agree, by all means, bring that up. Bring it up with each other. Just be courteous in how you do it. Okay? And please don't have your phones out unless we're using them for something. Okay? Which sometimes we will. Okay, on the syllabus is my email, which several of you found already. My cell phone number is on there. Okay? I don't mind if you guys call or text. If it's a quick, easy question, and you want to shoot me a text, great. If it's evenings and weekends, again, I do have a family, I may not respond, but if it's a quick question, I probably will, okay? Don't expect me to bail you out last minute on an assignment, okay? And if it's really late, I'm old and I'm probably asleep, okay? But be sure to tell me who you are and what class it is, okay? Because like I said, I teach a lot of classes. I may have no earthly idea what you're talking about, okay? And you guys, nobody's 21 yet, right? Are you? All right, you see me the chicken, come say hello. I'll buy you a beer, okay? Soda for everybody else. Sound good? Be here well. Okay, quickly on the syllabus. Covered 0 credit hour and all that good stuff. There's my contact info. Make sure you get the book. Okay, here's how grading works. It's all broken up into quarters, okay? So 50 points are assignments, case studies, and exercises, either in class or on eCampus. Class participation. That is literally not just being here, but participating. There's a rubric in the syllabus you can look at that shows you what the expectations are of those 50 points. Just sitting in class is not going to get you 50 points, right? Engage, right? Be a part of it. eCampus discussions, and then the final will be the individual leadership development plan, which hopefully this class we're good. 381, we're making a new one. We'll take that in chunks. It's something that we work on through the semester, okay? So that you have a good product at the end, all right? So it's not something we just do all at the end. So otherwise you guys turn in a terrible product because you do it all the night before, right? If you get a D or an F, you will be removed from the Corps. Cannot make this clear enough. If you get a D or an F, which a D is also a U if you SU the class, you will get kicked out of the Corps. Okay? They don't want below average in a class that they're telling you got to take. Cool? Okay. I think I asked you guys. Did anybody ask about me? Did you ask your upperclassmen about me? Yeah, you were good, right? I didn't ask the other 281. Okay. We'll see what they think. Has anybody asked about me since? You should. You should ask your upperclassmen. Point is, I'm not terribly tough. This is a 1-hour class. I try to keep that perspective with the assignments. But when I give you something, I do expect effort. Okay. All right, questions about that? Okay, good. Who knows? Did we cover this last week? Who knows for every hour of class how many hours you're supposed to study? 1 to 3. You spend 3 hours on SOMS? Probably not. Okay, appreciate your honesty. Right? Again, I try to keep that in perspective. Again, participate in our dialogue in the classroom. Okay, take that note card, please, and answer these questions. Please write legibly so that I can read it, because I actually look at these. Okay? No pen, Timmy? Killing me, Smalls. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we'll either borrow one or you'll have to do it next time. If you've been to a lot of states or a lot of countries, you can just guess the number. You don't have to, doesn't have to be exact. I put on music, but we're using my phone. Timmy, you can just take a picture of it if you need to. All right, you're good. Go. You're done, just hang on to him. All good? Almost done? You guys can either keep going or we can finish them at the end. Sound good? Whew, that's mean, isn't it? It's you guys working your way there. Here to get a job, right? Okay. It's gonna be awesome. Just try to get that ring, right? Try to get my boots. It's all downhill after that. Don't ever leave here. Stay in school as long as you can. Some of you don't believe me. Some of you are like, heck yeah. Okay? We on the 5-year plan? Yeah? Extra football season, right? Okay. 6-year plan? We'll see. Grad school? Okay? Yeah. Good. All right. That's where you guys are. But look, see, you're past 5th year. You made it. Right? What's funny is like, it's the seniors who get this more because they're starting to get a little nervous because they're about to leave here and they don't know what's going to be. If you have me again for future classes in SOMS, I will remind you of this because after you graduate, you're going to be a fish all over again in life, which is terrifying because you just got out of freshman year, right? Okay. All right. What'd you guys learn in SOMS classes before this? You say nothing? All right, well, you may be challenging here. What else? What'd you say?
How to be a sophomore or a coach before.
How to be a coach? Okay, good. What else did I hear?
Personality part. Yeah.
Personality. Did Myers-Briggs, right? Yep. Okay, good. You're going to need that. Yes, sir.
Sophomores are bad.
Sophomores are bad. Yes, they are. Yes, sir. Tammy? What not to do. Okay, good. All right, so we got a few things, right? Okay, so some maybe not so great. Okay, some good ones. All right. What'd you gain from that?
An understanding of how the course sort of operates in its leadership. Like whenever I went to SOMS classes, I saw everything that was already taught in class via just my own experience, but they put the names to it.
Okay, good. So was that a little beneficial?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Who had like no parents or family or anybody in the Corps before coming here? Yeah. What are you guys doing? Why'd you join the Corps? Why'd you join the Corps?
Fun.
Just for fun?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Who else? Why'd you join the Corps, Rhett?
Mainly band and scholarships, and then I wanted to. They said like we're gonna focus on heart rate and stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to go to that school, so it's probably a choice.
Good. Yeah. Did you have your hand up, Madeline? Madeline, right?
I joined the Corps because I wanted to be more outgoing and make friends. I thought it would be beneficial to be in the organization instead of just being kind of being like introvert. So
Okay, good for you. How many of you did it like because you know you needed the discipline? Good for you guys. Honest to goodness. First of all, you guys got screwed last year. Did you get it? You were in the band?
Yeah.
Anybody else in the band? Has anybody else been to road games in uniform? Okay, you guys will go to road games, did you? People will thank you for your service. Right? They have no idea that you're not going in the military. There's Aggies who don't know you're not going in the military. Some of you are, and that's great. Okay, we can talk about both, all right? But people don't always understand what the Corps is, right? It's hilarious, okay, to me, right? Okay, good. So we got a few things. Want to be in the band, scholarship, discipline, okay. What do you think you're going to get out of 281?
Better understanding of who we are.
Okay, good.
Learn more leadership theory.
More leadership theory. Good, yes. Okay, what else?
Like learn what works for you.
Learn what works for you. Absolutely. Yep, good. What else? Timmy?
Learn how to apply your strengths and
Yep, exactly. Good. Okay, what else? Some of you actually remember things we talked about last week.
Not sure exactly what, but I think that
Whatever to be practical? Okay. That's good. I was kind of waiting to see if you'd answer since you didn't like your previous SOMS classes. You still might not. We'll find out, right? Okay. Good. Those are good answers. Okay. You did the Myers-Briggs. That's good. We'll kind of work that in. We're going to do something called Clifton Strengths. All right, through the semester. I'm trying to confirm. It's $20 to do it. We used to get it for 10. I think it's 15 now. I'm trying to find out. But it's either 10 or $15, which is a discount. So just prepare for that. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about the fact that it's not included in your fees or whatever, so just prepare for that. We'll do it later. It's either 10 or 15 bucks is the discount to do it. But it's something that we'll absolutely use in the class, right, moving forward. One of the things I also do is the grit scales. Anybody heard of the book Grit? Seen the TED Talk? Okay, cool. Well, that'll be good. You'll enjoy it then, right? And I asked you, does anybody not have a resume? Okay, 100% okay, all right? That's something that we'll actually go over in this class. Because believe it or not, you guys are already hurdling towards like internships. Okay, that stuff is coming, all right? So we'll give you some tools so that you can do that and get them, all right? And you guys touched on this. Understand, recognize, and apply intentional leadership, terms and functions. What does intentional mean?
With purpose, with thought.
Yeah, okay? You're doing it on purpose, okay? Good, all right? We'll do some case studies, which tend to be some things that students typically like. You know, we'll look at what happened, what was good, what was bad, what would you have done, all right? Some of them I'll try to work in. It's literally you trying to figure out what you would do, right? So it's not just to read it and here's what happened. I'm going to put you guys in some situations and we're going to talk about it and see how it goes, all right? Discover, evaluate, and discuss your own leadership competencies, all right? That's basically what the ILDP will help us do. Okay. Do you have a definition of leadership? Anybody? Nobody?
I can give you the same definition from last week.
Right, okay. We touched on this last week, right? This is something you need to work on, right? This is absolutely something you need to work on. How many of you this fish last year, you were getting yelled at, right? And it sucked. Things are not going well. First of all, you're thinking like, why are you doing this to me? I'm a nice person, right? Anybody think that? Like, stop yelling at me, okay? Not a bad deal. I'm paying for this, right? Okay? How many of you thought last year, I'm not going to do that? Anybody? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Some of you were like, I am not going to be like this as a sophomore. And what happened this year? What'd you do? What'd you do?
Did what was expected of you. And
You did the same thing, didn't you? Huh?
Continue the cycle of abuse.
Yes, you did the exact same thing. Why?
Why not?
Why not? Because you didn't. Because that's what somebody did to me, right? That's what I saw. I will just copy them. How many of you who did that, it was not your natural style? Thomas, right? Thomas, do you not like to yell?
I'm not a big yeller.
Yeah, okay. How'd that go for you?
It feels weird.
Okay, all right. Why'd you do it then?
It's the example I had.
Exactly. Exactly right. Is there any, of all your guys' different majors, all right, think about the job you want to do or might want to do, okay, or your dream job, which you just wrote down. In any of those jobs, do you yell at people in their face?
Depending on what they did.
Maybe, okay, maybe, all right. Best example might be officer candidate school or basic training in the military, okay. Even then, all right, think about this last year. How many times you're standing there, attention is fish, and people are just yelling? And what did you do? You just stood there. No, they're yelling again. Right? Why? Why were you thinking that?
Get used to it.
Yeah. Did it have the same effect? No. Right? Got used to it. Okay. Another example. Some of you still, I'm not sure if you believe me yet. How many times you get in trouble for your parents? All right. And they didn't yell or anything like that. They just said, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That's the worst thing ever, right? You're like, please yell at me, okay? They just, no, they went calm, right? It's terrifying. You should be terrified. Your parents get to that point, okay? You can do this as sophomores. You can absolutely do this, okay? It is so terrifying if you are the calm, quiet one, right? Because they expect you to yell at them, right? Tear them up. Try that, okay? Just come up to them. I'm not mad. Just disappointed. See what happens. Okay. All right. We're going to work on this. True or false? The leader is the person in charge.
False.
Uh-huh. Who says true? few of you. Okay. Who says false? Okay. Why?
You can exert a lot of influence. Like, you got like the leader and you have all your sort of peers. If there's one person in your peer group that can really influence the people within that group, you can sort of like rise against the leader.
I mean, if you're thinking about it, sophomores have no power over the freshmen. It's all just in their brain. So if they decide they don't want to do something, they don't have to.
Yeah, right.
What are you going to do, yell?
Yeah.
It's a social contract.
Yeah. Okay. What do you mean by that?
You give sort of like your will and saying, hey, I'll do this for you if you do blank for me. It's a transaction sort of.
Right. Okay. This is really refreshing to hear. You guys can all just go to 380. Okay. Because this is what people think, especially in the core. Honest to goodness. And I was just talking. You guys will get to know Dr. Brown, Dr. Keller as you move on. But I was just talking about this. This is it's almost like, I hate the word pandemic right now, but this is like how the core thinks. Most cadets think the leader is just the person in charge. Okay? Martin Luther King, all right? When he came to Birmingham, he was a new outsider and he was young. He had just graduated, I think, Harvard Divinity School. So while he was from the South, he'd been up in the Northeast for a while. He was brand new. He wasn't just born Martin Luther King, right? I mean, he was, but he wasn't just a civil rights leader, just, at the age of 10, right? All of that developed and grew and changed him, and he grew into that role, right? Again, this is refreshing to hear because, and for those of you who think the leader is just the person in charge, title and rank don't matter. I'm telling you this from the civilian world and the military world. Yeah, there's a hierarchy, okay? But title and rank does not make you a good or effective leader. It absolutely doesn't, right? You can influence people, right? Just like you said, you can influence your peers. Some of you even see it in your fish, right? You can see some rising to the top. You're like, man, people look up to him or her. People follow him or her, okay? Good, that's excellent. I'm gonna tell Dr. Brown, he'll be so excited. Do you guys have experience as a leader? Good, what is it?
I work in the rec
Okay,
as a ship captain, so I've got like just people who do the same thing as me but newer.
okay, cool, good for you. What else?
I just answer.
Yeah,
And then of course
core, okay, good, what else? Brett?
I was a fish camp counselor for Fish Camp 2020.
Okay, cool, good for you. Tough year to do fish camp, right?
It was online, yeah.
Yeah, kind of sucked to do it that way?
Yeah, well, I was a crew counselor, so like I wasn't like a typical. I wasn't there for like the regular 3 days. I was there for, well, like for 4 of the sessions, and so I did a lot of like the background work.
Cool, good for you. Okay, good, what else?
I recruit for the Corps.
You recruit for the Corps?
Yeah, I recruit for the Corps, so I kind of just lead them into this amazing program and see if they're about it.
Nice, okay, good to see you,
I was a substitute teacher in the month of December.
You were?
Yeah,
Ooh, what's your major?
meteorology.
Why were you substitute teaching? You
You get $75 a day. to
What
do
grade?
Some catch on fire. I usually do high school, although I'm board certified to do K through.
High school, you're the same age as them.
They don't know that.
That's they should be able to tell. Like you guys look young. High schoolers look really young, and I know I look young for my age, so it's hilarious to me. When I was 16, I was 5 feet tall when I was 16. I got pulled over by the cops because he did not think I was old enough to drive. Okay, so that's hilarious to me. My wife is also a teacher. It is tough right now. There are not a lot of subs because of COVID and everything like that. It's really hard. Okay, so one, good for you for doing it. And how was the experience?
I only had to watch 2 kids that day because it was like take your child to work day. The school system was already in hybrid learning, so only half the kids were showing up.
So
And
you
it was
timed
like
this perfectly and pocketed $75, right?
Exactly. My mom texted me like in November, like, hey, you should apply for this, and I did.
That's excellent. Good for you. Good for the resume. What else? What else? Yes, sir.
On the Eagle Scouts, I did lots of missions.
Oh, good. Yeah, cool. What was your project?
I built a retaining wall and then backfilled it with river rock, decomposed cedar mulch, and then filled the top layer with sponge and clay mold.
Oh, good for you. Cool. Okay. Anybody play sports? high school?
We were football captains.
Is that leadership?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was anybody in clubs in high school? Okay. Did anybody not do anything their entire life till they got here? My man. Okay. Still thinks SOMS is worthless. Okay. Good. This is exactly why you should be here. Okay. All of those things are experience that you had. Now, you may not know how to articulate those on a resume, but that is 100% leadership experience. How many of you guys, when you were playing football, when you were underclassmen, you saw upperclassmen, and you looked up to a few of them, right? And some of them you were like, they are pieces of shit. See that too? Yes, exactly. Did you want to be like them? No, you want to be like the good ones, right? Good. Okay. Excellent. We'll work on that. That's a good thing. All right. Leadership is manipulation. True or false? True. Okay. Who says true? I got at least one false. Who says false? Okay. Why?
Doesn't manipulation imply lying or deceiving?
There's a negative connotation to manipulation.
Okay. What is it? Persuasion.
Yes.
What's the difference?
Exactly.
Persuasion, I feel like you're like leading, you can lead by example versus manipulation. You can say one thing and do another thing.
Is manipulating bad?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Why not? Not necessarily. Why not?
Because you can manipulate something to do good.
Sure. Yeah, you can manipulate them to do good. Is that a bad thing? No? Did the word manipulation trip you up here?
Yes.
Okay. What is it different than persuasion?
It's just more finesse to it.
We're kind of splitting hairs, right? Okay. So, if you guys said false, why? Persuasion or manipulation, either one. I'll take either word. Why'd you say false? You thought manipulation was bad, right? Malintent. Okay. Anyone else? Haley?
Mine was the same reason.
Just didn't like the word manipulation? Okay, is it persuasion? Does it have to be? Okay. Who does not like manual labor? Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Go dig a ditch. Are you going to do it if I tell you to go dig a ditch? No. Why not? Yeah, okay. Ooh, thank you, sir. Okay. All right, my man. Kevin, right? Kevin, okay. If you go dig this ditch, that village down there will have running water for the first time ever, which will make their lives a lot better, and you will absolutely be a hero to them. Will you go dig that ditch? Still not doing it? Okay. Who's changing their minds?
I'm just, okay, that's just from a practical, like, you ask someone to dig a ditch for someone else and not do it.
Say that again?
That was my village, maybe.
Maybe. So even if you live there, you might want running water, but you might not, because I have to take this shovel and dig a ditch.
But I might be able to get some of my extended family.
You're gonna get other people to do it for you? Why are they gonna do that for you?
All kinds of reasons.
What would your reason be?
I don't know, money or,
Running water.
Run your water.
But you don't even want to do it. So how are you gonna get others to do it? You're in the right place, Kevin. Glad you're here. Okay. This just felt like church, didn't it? Right? Bring him in. Okay. Yeah. You need to figure out how you're going to get them to do that. Because if you tell a fish to do anything, why? Why would they do it? Why would they listen to you? No reason to, right? Other than getting yelled at, maybe. So, okay? They're going to ask why, just like you did. And that's valid. That's everyone. And you guys aren't even millennials. You're behind millennials, but they get lumped into this, okay? People want to know why. How many of you guys last year, you got told to do something, you were like, why? In your head, whether you said it or not, you're like, why? All the time, right? You wanted to know why, okay? You should tell people why. You should have an answer. And if you don't have an answer, why are you telling them to do it? You should be able to explain why. Who's the most successful college football coach right now? Not Jimbo?
Not yet.
Not yet. He's got 8 more titles to win. Okay. Nick Saban, all right? When Nick Saban came up in coaching, right, when he was a young man, the way you coach, if they screwed up, was grab their face mask and yell in their face, right? That happened to you guys?
Yes.
Was that the most effective form of coaching?
Not always.
Not really, right?
Well, shit.
But sometimes it scares us.
Yeah.
Sometimes it worked, and sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you can do it. Is it far more effective if I pulled you aside and said, here's why I need you to run the play this way? If I tell you, look, you're a receiver, and even though the ball is not coming to you, if you run the route really hard, it's going to open up the other receiver, and we will score on this play. Is that going to make you do it?
Yes.
Probably, right? A couple years ago, we played Auburn, and they kept running this end-around play, and it worked. I mean, they ran it 6 or 7 times during the game, and it worked every time. Why?
Everyone did their part.
They did their part, but they knew our guys weren't. Our defensive linemen were biting on the fake every time, and then whoop, there you go, running down the field without Aggie anywhere around. We're just like, see you later. Okay, easy touchdown. Dr. Keller, who came and spoke last week, I didn't tell you this, but he played football at the Air Force Academy, right? He can break down plays, and he broke down that play, and he's like, Auburn knew that our guys were not disciplined enough, they hadn't been coached well enough to recognize what was going on. And they got taken advantage of. But if they'd been coached instead of just yelling in their face mask, maybe they would understand it better, right? Okay, you have to tell people why. And this is younger generations for a long time. This is millennials and everybody. People want to know why now, right? And you should be able to answer that question, which is not always easy to do. Okay, is Old Army dead?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. When did Old Army die?
Long time ago.
Long time ago. Anyone else?
It died after the first class went through.
Yes, that's my favorite answer. Old Army died in year 2. Okay, the year they moved out of the tents, Old Army was dead. Okay, I had a junior the other day say about my freshman year, which is what a lot of you guys think. It just died. It was so much better just a couple years ago. All right. We touched on land grants. Every land grant had a Corps of Cadets. How many are left?
Like us in Virginia Tech.
Not very many. Why?
It died.
It did die. Why? The Corps almost died here.
Wasn't enough population pulled for it, or
People were south.
No. No.
They weren't adapting.
No. Kind of. They were not adapting the wrong way. 2.0 GPA. Okay? If you had a 2.1, that was 0.1 of wasted effort. Okay? Hazing was running rampant. I mean, bad. Okay? So how many of you guys came here for some of that? Okay? You came for some of that experience, right? You can still do it. You just can't hurt people. You got broken down last year, right? How many of you last year, freshman year, were like, I am quitting? At some point freshman year, were like, I am out of here. Okay? Probably a lot of you, all right? And you persevered. Okay, you made it through. A lot of people didn't. And sometimes people don't recover from that. The problem with hazing and all that is you don't know where to draw the line. You're like, oh, we can just do it a little bit. No. Somebody will always cross the line. Okay, that's why this stuff had to be eliminated. And it also was not mentoring, leading, coaching, learning how to follow. Okay? It was a scary place. I've met a lot of old ags, man. They'll tell you. All right? Believe it or not, in terms of making you a better person, it is far better now. Believe it or not. Okay? Good. I like that. Okay. Are you guys able to assess yourselves accurately?
no.
No? Okay. Who else? You don't know the right questions to ask about yourself? Oh, okay, cool. I'll take that. What else?
How do you know?
How can you tell, right? How can you tell? So, are you really able to do it?
No.
Do you know when you screw up? Kinda, yeah. How many of you told fish to do something and it's gone horribly?
Yeah.
Or it hasn't gone really well, right? Yeah. Some of that is on you. Some of it's on them. But some of that's on you. That's right. Okay. How many of you take a test and you do well, and you're like, I'm pretty awesome. How many of you, when you do poorly on a test, whose fault is it? Always the professor's, right? Always. That's the right answer. It's not, is it? Whose fault is it, Madeline?
I say that it's my fault, I didn't study hard enough.
Exactly. Is it your fault?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Are you going to admit that?
No.
No. Okay? This is a really hard thing to do. Most of you cannot assess yourselves accurately. You know when you're doing well, okay, sometimes. Sometimes you're doing poorly, all right? And you guys will see other people. You pass judgments on other outfits, right? My man, being honest. Okay? You judgmental and non-regs? Absolutely. Okay? Some of them are better at PT than you. Impossible. Okay? Right? Can you run under a 4-minute mile?
No.
Okay, some of them can, right? One's my neighbor. The dude's like this tall. He runs like a deer. It's weird, okay? Super fast, all right? We're going to run out of time. It's hard to assess yourselves accurately. We're going to work on that, okay? If you got somebody who doesn't like you, go up to him, ask him a question. What do you think about me? Watch what happens. They won't say anything, right? Most people don't like confrontation. Some of them will lay it all out. Man, you're a punk. They'll tell you why, okay? But most of them won't handle it well, okay? But ask them, what do you think about me? I watch videos of myself. I'm like, oh my gosh. I say okay all the time. It's a bad habit. I'm trying to stop. I almost said it again. All right. Should you question leadership?
Yes. Ask them the why question.
Start with why, okay? Ask them why. Who's thinking about contracting in the military? Okay, cool. If you're going into a firefight, should you question leadership? Huh?
You need decisions now, and if you wait to follow through with an order, you're probably going to die. So shoot first.
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. You should question leadership. Why are we doing it? Where are we going? Who are we shooting at? Who's shooting back? What's behind what we're shooting at? This is life or death. You better know what's going on. Okay? Does anybody know who Jocko Willink is?
Yes.
Touch him up. Navy SEAL? Okay, a couple things. He's a Navy SEAL. He's built like a brick house. Okay? He looks like he was born a Navy SEAL. I think he was, right out of the womb. Okay? He's strong as an ox. He's an incredible leader in the military and civilian world. Okay? Very successful person. He will tell you absolutely you should know what's going on. You should ask those questions. And yelling at people is the absolute lowest form of leadership. He will tell you that. Career military. Okay? We'll get into some of that more as we go on. Right? We're going to run out of time. Now, can you always do it? How many of you last year were like, why? And you're getting tore up, right? Could you just be like, why? Did you do that, Haley?
Mm-hmm.
Did you? How'd it go?
Oh, I didn't say it out loud. I just questioned.
How many? Yeah, in your head, right? How many of you said something out loud? Yeah, how'd it go?
Not on the wall, but later with my TL.
Okay, and?
I mean, for example, once I was cutting quad in uniform, but it was because the LLC was in construction, so I really wasn't, but it's what it looked like, and I got ripped for it.
Yeah?
But then in ESC, I asked my TL, and he said, "Oh, well, I mean, I see what you mean,
Okay, so it worked out, right?
but it doesn't matter. What matters is what he looked like." So that was a lesson both for me and for him, because he knew.
Absolutely.
They knew I wasn't being bad on purpose.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
at the same time, taught me a lesson.
Good. Good for you. Okay. Excellent. All right. I'm going fast because we're going to run out of time. Got one more thing to get to. Are you a good leader?
Wouldn't that be a question to ask your subordinates?
That's a good answer. But are you? I'm asking you.
I would like to think so.
You'd like to think so, right? Okay, good. Who's in that same boat? Who'd like to think they're a good leader? Who does not think they're a good leader? Everybody's got it figured out, right? Madeline still work? Good. Good for you for being honest, okay? Some of you think like just because you're in the Corps, you have to be. It is not for everyone. Leadership is not for everyone. How many of you don't have to name names, you've seen people in the Corps, you're like, that's not a good leader. Most of the other outfits, right? Not yours. Okay, right? But what does the Corps do? We make
Leaders.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay? How'd you develop your leadership style?
Practice.
From?
The core experience for me it was after.
How many years were you alive, Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Before you joined the Corps?
18.
Okay. Did you get any experience in those 18 years before you came here in the last 18 months?
Also,
Okay. So, what were those experiences?
For me, it was J-Run,
It was what?
junior ROTC.
Junior ROTC? Okay, good. Fair enough. What else?
Boy Scouts.
Scouts? Football? What else?
Leading at the big job here.
FFA? Okay, excellent. What else? Student organizations. Boom, I gave you all these answers. Absolutely right. All of these things are making you parents, siblings. Who had older siblings? Are you like them or different from them?
Way different.
Want to be different sometimes, right? Some of you are like, I guess siblings are pieces of crap. They need to join the Corps. Right? Okay. All right, good enough. I don't have time for that. Okay, this I wish I met you guys freshman year. But this I bring up to all students. Because honestly, I wish to God somebody would have told me when I was 18 or even younger. Undergrad education is usually memorize and regurgitate, right? You take a test and you're good to go and you move on. What happens if you take that same test 2 or 3 weeks later?
You'll fail.
You won't do as well. Why? You dump that information, right? Okay, you're done. You moved on. Okay? This is why some of your classes are repetitive. I'm going to tell you the same things over and over. It's only in your short-term memory. If it's not in your long-term memory, you have not learned it. You temporarily memorize something. You have not learned it. It has to get in your long-term memory for you to actually learn something. A great practice is if you can teach it. You ever been studying with somebody, right? Okay, and they get it and you don't? You're like, I don't get it, and they're trying to teach it. They've got it down. Conversely, if you can teach somebody, you are learning it. That's a great way to learn. People you say practice in the mirror, use your friggin' phone. Video yourself trying to explain it, see if it makes sense. If you can teach it, right, then it's probably working its way into your long-term memory. If it's not there, you haven't learned it. If it's hard, you're learning. If you're like, screw this, I'm done. You gave up. Your brain was like, this is hard, I don't get it. Okay? If it's hard, you're actually learning. Your brain is working to figure it out. Okay? Who does not like math? Okay? We can teach you math. It has rules, believe it or not. It's one of the easiest things to teach. Even though it's hard, you don't like it. Okay? If I teach Haley trig, it's not going to go very well. But we can totally do it. It has rules. Okay? We'll get through it. What your brain does is take what you already know and tries to assimilate it to what you don't know. Okay? When you're learning, it tries to relate it to things you already know. Okay? That's how we learn. And here we have low stakes learning. I don't really do quizzes unless you're not reading. Then I'll hand you a blank piece of paper and say summarize the reading. For a test, think about what you might learn. And that's what will be on the test. Think about what might be on the test, and most of the time you'll be right. Okay? Honest to goodness, most of the time you'll be right. Okay? I don't want to go over. One last thing. Why do we require assignments?
So that will do them.
So you do them. If I just tell you to do them, you're going to do it, Kevin? Yeah? Hell no. Right?
You won't even go
Okay?
to clean water.
Right, exactly. This is why we have to require them. You've trained us so that we have to do that to you. If I just gave them to you and there were no grades, if I told you to read the book, Rhett, you going to do it? Rhett's not doing it. That's why we have to do it, unfortunately. I'm trying to fix undergrad education. Give me some time, okay? I'm running long, so I'll stop. And for those of you who missed last week, see me for a quick second. Thanks, guys. Have a